From toxic tonics to poisonous pastries, the culinary world is full of near disasters. But some folks are willing to risk it all for a tasty treat. Here's to those brave souls who dared to take a bite of danger. First up, we have saccharin, the artificial sweetener that kicked off this countdown. In 1879, chemist Konstantin Vollberg was working with coal tar, an industrial byproduct, when he noticed something strange. His hands were covered in the sticky substance, and every time he ate something, the taste was enhanced. Could this be the secret to a revolutionary new sweetener? Eager to find out, Vollberg took a chance and tasted the coal tar directly. And boy, was it sweet. He synthesized the compound responsible, which he named saccharin, and soon it hit the market as the first artificial sweetener. But while saccharin was a game-changer for those watching their sugar intake, it wasn't exactly a health food. Many of Vollberg's fellow chemists who experimented with coal tar byproducts suffered severe chemical burns and poisonings. Some even lost their lives. But Vollberg's accidental discovery revolutionized the food industry forever. Next up is Nicholas Appert and his groundbreaking work on canning food. Back in the early 1800s, food preservation was a serious problem. Nothing stopped rotting, that is, until Appert came along. After years of experimentation, he developed a process where he sealed food inside glass jars and heated them under high pressure. But there was a hitch. While the process worked and could keep food fresh for months, it wasn't very practical. Imitators jumped in and started using cheaper materials like tin cans. However, they didn't follow Appert's method of sterilizing the cans. Soon enough, people fell seriously ill and even died after eating canned food. That's because the cans were often contaminated with Clostridium botulinum, which produces a deadly toxin. But Appert's invention changed the way we preserve food forever. Then we have nutmeg, one of the most expensive spices in the world during the Middle Ages. But everyone didn't know that consuming too much of it could be deadly. Early apothecaries didn't understand the difference between a helpful dose and an overdose. Symptoms of a nutmeg overdose include hallucinations, convulsions, and organ failure. In fact, medieval records tell stories of cooks collapsing after drinking nutmeg wine. But the party doesn't stop there. Let's talk about absinthe, the infamous green fairy. During the 18th and 19th centuries, this anise-flavored spirit was all the rage in Europe. But little did drinkers know, it was hiding a dangerous secret. Sea absinthe gets its distinct flavor from wormwood, which contains a compound called thujone. In high doses, it can cause seizures. Some distillers even added copper sulfate to their product to make it look more appealing. And that turned out to be a big mistake. It made the drink even more dangerous. Eventually, absinthe was banned for almost a century. And we have to give a shout-out to the Cura essence fraud of the 1900s. When India was still under British rule, a cost-cutting scandal led to the deadly substitution of diethylene glycol, aka the same chemical found in antifreeze, for the floral extract Cura. This resulted in several deaths and many others falling gravely ill. Let's raise a toast to the pioneers of fermentation, the brave souls who took a chance on fermented foods and beverages and passed down the knowledge to future generations. But let's be real, this was a risky gamble. Those early experimenters had no idea if the bubbling, fizzy stuff they were producing was going to be a life-enhancing elixir or a path to an untimely demise. We're talking about the messy, uncertain beginnings of beer and wine. Imagine taking a swig and not knowing if it'll give you a buzz or send you into a life-threatening coma. Then we can't forget about the first person to sink their teeth into a juicy sausage. It's hard to say who this lucky duck was, but they probably thought they had hit the jackpot, until they didn't. Turns out the airtight sausages they were tucking into were creating the perfect environment for deadly bacteria to thrive. Enter Clostridium botulinum, the microbe responsible for botulism, a nasty illness that can cause paralysis and even kill you. Yep, the very sausages meant to be a tasty treat could turn into a death sentence. Before we wrap things up, let's raise a glass to the mad scientists of the 1800s who were concocting energy tonics. These wild mixtures included ingredients like cocaine, chloroform, strychnine, and nitroglycerin, the explosive used in dynamite. Now that's a recipe for disaster waiting to happen. Just imagine chugging down a can of energy and feeling the unexpected burst of adrenaline mixed with the lingering scent of explosives. Yeah, it was a wild ride. Finally, let's talk about fugu, the Japanese delicacy, That's a literal gamble with death. This pufferfish dish might be a culinary masterpiece, but it's also a ticking time bomb. The secret's in the tetrodotoxin, a poison that's 1,000 times stronger than cyanide. Now that's a risky ingredient. For centuries, chefs risked their lives preparing it, and many apprentices even died after tasting their own creations. So there you have it, folks, a glimpse into the crazy, risky world of food invention. From life-saving discoveries to close calls with death. These stories remind us that sometimes the line between culinary brilliance and disaster is paper thin. So next time you sit down to a meal, take a moment to appreciate all the brave souls who dared to eat their way into the unknown. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more fascinating food stories.